If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes. The duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Your heart is slightly bigger than the average human heart, but that's because you're a teacher. Teachers can change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Students, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Teachers have 3 loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first 2 loves together. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Education doesn't just make us smarter, it makes us whole. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is best. I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. I like a teacher who gives you something to take home to think about besides homework. I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet, strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. A teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the pupil with a desire to learn is hammering on cold iron. Good teachers know how to bring out the best in students. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Change is the end result of all true learning. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. The learning process continues until the day you die. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. They know enough who know how to learn. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. They cannot stop me. I will get my education if it is in the home, school, or any place. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. He who opens a school door closes a prison. Education is the ability to meet life situations. Learning starts with failure. The first failure is the beginning of education. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Education consists mainly of what we have unlearned.
Good morning, sir. I am Professor Jyoti.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah.
PC madam will join soon. In
Okay.
2
Okay.
minutes.
So we'll start by that time.
I think madam was, I think, not joined yet. Okay. Whenever she will join, I will call.
Please inform when the VC
Yes,
joins.
yes, I will inform you. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Good evening, madam. Sir, madam also, Vice Chancellor, madam joined the program. Sir, you can start the program, sir. You can
All
start.
right, okay. Good evening, everybody.
జ్యోతి గారు డాక్టర్ మెండోస్ జాకబ్ గారు వచ్చారమ్మా
మేడం వచ్చినట్టే ఉన్నారు, వచ్చారు మేడం, జాయిన్ అయ్యారు.
పర్సన్స్ కదా, కన్వీనర్స్, రిసోర్స్ పర్సన్స్ ఉంటారు.
రిసోర్స్ పర్సన్స్, పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ అందరూ ఉంటారు.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am. We can start. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
We will start. Okay. Sijan, can you
Yeah,
just
all right,
start the
okay.
introduction? Yeah.
Could you please confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, sir, audible. It is audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for registering and attending this national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research organized by the DST Curie AI Center of Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam, SPMVV University, Tirupati, in association with IPSR Solutions Limited. We would like to welcome Dr. Tirupati Vice Chancellor, Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam, Professor N. Rajani, Registrar, Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam, Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor and Director, MCA, Marine College, Kutikanam Autonomous, MD and CEO, IPSR Solutions Limited, Dr. Sunil Job, Associate Professor and Academic Mentor, Marine College, Kutikanam Autonomous, Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. He will be the resource person for today. Dr. Suresh Nambudri, Director, SP Technologies, Pune, will be a resource person in one of the coming days. Dr. Thomas Burgess, MSc, MEd, PhD, Chair, Finance Program, J.R. Shaw School of Business, Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, Canada. He'll also be a resource person for one of the coming days. Professor V. Sarita, Department of CSE, SOET, SPMVV, Tirupati. Dr. J. Suryakumar, CEO, SSIIE, TBI, SPMVV, Tirupati. Professor S. Jyoti, DST Curie AI Center, SPMVV, Tirupati. Dr. P. Bhargavi, DST Curie AI Center, SPMVV, Tirupati. And also, we would like to welcome all the FDP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQAC coordinators, and all faculty members. Now, about this FDP, this is a one-week FDP program with live sessions from the same timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We expect you to be present on all the days. Now, fee for the LMS access and processing of certificate is ₹400. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recording for all the days, and the provision to download your FDP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving the certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FDP. If any of you are yet to make the payment, you can make the payment of ₹400 to the account details I will shortly put in the chat. If any of you are unable to attend any of the live sessions, they will be available in the LMS. We have shared the LMS access details through email to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. Those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today will receive the LMS access details by email by tomorrow or later in the day as well. If any of you have trouble in attending WebEx online session, you can also join the YouTube live session in the link of which I will put in the chat now. If you have trouble with WebEx, you can also join with YouTube Live. My name is Sujin Jacob George. I'm working as Global Relations Manager to IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, about the introductions. First, I'll give the introduction for Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam, SPMVV University for Women. Now, Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam University for Women was founded in the year 1983 by Sri N.T. Ramarao, the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, with a fervent desire to train women students as better builders of the nation and to inculcate skills of leadership in all aspects of life. The university was established under the Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam Act of 1983, which came into force on the 14th of April 1983. It was started with 10 faculty members and 300 students and 20 staff members. Today, the university has a student population of nearly 4,000 and an academic staff of 105 and 131 academic consultants. This year, the university has 59 courses and the postgraduate and undergraduate level and a good component of research. The university functions across 4 schools, namely School of Sciences, School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Management, School of Nursing, and School of Engineering and Technology. There are 16 departments offering 52 programs, which include PhD, MPhil, PG, UG, and diploma courses, international training programs, ODL programs offered to 5,800 plus girl students and women covering the jurisdiction of entire Andhra Pradesh. The international training programs offered in the campus are Indo-Sweden BTech degree, music and dance programs in collaboration with Tana, Suswara, and Ragavahini Music Academies, USA. Remedial teaching for academically weaker students and pre-examination coaching for various competitive examinations and personality development programs are the intrinsic qualities of the university to equip the women students for life and career. The university is enriched with the funds sources from the UGC and state government. The university has strong governance with 13-member executive council headed by Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor D. Paradi and Professor N. Rajini is the member secretary of the executive council and the registrar. The university is accredited with 4 stars with grade A+ by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council (NAC) and International Certificate (ISO). Now coming to introduction about IPSR. IPSR is led by a team of academicians and entrepreneurs. IPSR is a public limited company with 24 years of experience in software product development, training services, placement services, and web-based services. During the last 2 decades, IPSR has worked with 500 academic organizations, including government universities, autonomous colleges, technical and non-technical institutions. IPSR's training division conducts faculty development training, seminars, workshops, add-on courses, corporate training, job-oriented training, etc. in the education, IT, and ITES domain. IPSR were the training partner for the Technical Education Quality Improvement Program, TechIP, a World Bank assisted project executed in government engineering colleges by the Indian Ministry of HRD. IPSR is the world's leading Red Hat training and certification partner with 37 national and international awards and produced the highest number of Red Hat professionals in the world. So far, IPSR has trained over candidates from 60+ countries. IPSR's IT Services Division is a pioneer in development of academic solution products, incorporating cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence, data analytics, and machine learning. Currently, IPSR offers specialized services and solutions for the educational sector, ranging from simple websites to complex software applications that help to manage academic operation activities like question paper generation, campus automation, accreditation process, NAC, NBA, etc., OBE, outcome-based education, etc. Now, before moving on to the sessions, if possible, could you all please turn on your videos, as we would like to take a screenshot for our documentation purpose. Just turn it on for a few seconds.
Sir,
Yes.
VC madam will address the grade 3, sir. Our VC madam.
We will move on to the first session, that is the welcome speech. The welcome speech will be delivered by Professor V. Sarita. She is from the Department of ESC, SOETs, SPMVV, and she will the FDP convener. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Welcome to this national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and the application of generative AI in teaching and research. We are thrilled to have you join us for a week of insightful discussions and learning. This program is a collaborative effort between the DST Curie AI Center of Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam, Tirupati, and IPSR Solutions Limited, aiming to enrich and enhance our understanding and skills in these critical areas. Your engagement and participation are crucial to the success of this event, and we look forward to exploring the potential and challenges of integrating generative AI into our educational practices together. Now, I would like to introduce our esteemed Vice Chancellor of Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam, Professor Depuru Bharati Garu, and Dynamic Registrar, Professor N. Rajini Garu, and also Dr. Mendoz Jacob, MD and CEO, IPSR Solutions Limited, Professor and Director, MCA, Marian College, Kuttikanam, Autonomous.
Okay, now we will move on to the inaugural address. This will be delivered by Dr. Depuru Bharati, who is the Vice Chancellor, Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam, Dr. Tirupati is the Vice Chancellor, SPMVV, former Professor of Biosciences and Sericulture. Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam, Tirupati, AP, secured her master's degree in zoology in 1981 from Karnataka University, Dharwad. She is an MPhil 1982 and PhD 1984 from Sri Venkateshwara University, Tirupati. She is a postdoctoral research from China, 2001. Dr. Tirupati is an MSc, MPhil, PhD, Advanced Diploma in Sericulture from China. 35 years of She's got 35 years of teaching, 40 years of research. She was an honorary foreign minister of Sericulture Society of Zhejiang University, People's Republic of China in 2000. She was nominated as member of AP State Level Expert Appraisal Committee by MOE, F and CC, Government of India, Young Scientist Award from DST, Outstanding Educator and Scholar, National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, Lifetime Achievement Award in Zoology by Venus International Foundation, Lifetime Achievement Award in Sericulture, Best Teacher Award from Andhra Pradesh State Government in 2008, and Best Research Award in Sciences from SPMVV Tirupati in 2017. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Some of the participants asked, the audio is not clear, sir. Myself is clear, sir. Some of the
Thank you.
parts.
Okay,
Thank
they
you,
can.
sir.
Some are saying
Good
it is low and some are saying it is not audible at all, actually.
Mendesa, can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, sir. It's audible,
Audible
sir.
for us.
It is audible, it seems. I think Madam can start.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good evening and warm welcome to this national level 1 week FDP on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research. Resource persons of today, Mr. Dr. Mendus Jacob, Mr. Dr. K.S. Sunil Job, Dr. Thomas Varghese, Dr. Suresh Nambutir, conveners Professor V. Saritad from Department of Computer Science, School of Engineering and Technology, SPMVV, Dr. J. Surya Kumar, CEO, TBI, then Coordinator Professor S. Jyoti, DST Curie, Assistant Coordinator Dr. P. Bhargavi from DST Curie, dear participants of this FDP, a very good evening to everyone. In the ever-evolving landscape of education, it is imperative for us as educators and researchers to constantly adapt and innovate to meet the needs of our students and the demands of the contemporary world. The theme of this faculty development program is outcome-based education, and the application of generative AI in teaching as well as research is more prominent and relevant. These are not only just buzzwords, they represent the transformative approaches that have the potential to revolutionize the way we teach, learn, and conduct the research. Outcome-based education, with its emphasis on clearly defined educational objectives and measurable outcomes, provides us with a framework to ensure that our faculty not only acquire knowledge, but also develop the skills, competencies, and attitudes necessary for success in their personal and professional lives. It is about empowering our faculty to become lifelong learners and critical thinkers who can adapt to the complexities of rapidly changing world. On the other hand, the application of generative artificial intelligence opens up the exciting possibilities for enhancing the teaching methodologies and conducting research in ways that were previously unimaginable. From personalized learning experiences to predictive analytics, from natural language processing to creative problem solving, the potential of AI to revolutionize education and research is truly inspiring. I hope over the course of the next week, you will have the privilege of learning from some of the foremost experts in the fields of outcome-based education and generative AI. Now, through comprehensive and interactive sessions and thought-provoking discussions, you will gain valuable insights and also practical strategies, opportunities for networking and collaboration that we can implement in our own teaching and research endeavors to our students and research scholars. So this faculty development program will provide you with an invaluable opportunity to come together as a community of educators and researchers to share your experiences and aspirations and to forge meaningful connections that will endure long after the program has concluded. So I sincerely suggest all the faculty participants of Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam Tirupati to seize this opportunity to reimagine the possibilities of education and research in the 21st century and strive to create a future where every student has the opportunity to fulfill their potential and contribute meaningfully to the society. I congratulate the coordinator, Professor S. Jyoti, a co-coordinator, and the conveners for organizing such a wonderful FDP program. And I wish all the participants for a stimulating and rewarding week ahead. I thank the organizers once again. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to be associated with you in this FDP program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Debra Bharati, for that inaugural address. Now we will have the speech addressing the gathering by Professor N. Rajani, Registrar, Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam.
She is having some other work, she could not attend this.
Sir, last
Okay.
minute she had
Some other
works,
work.
some official
Okay.
works.
All right. Okay. Fine. Then we will move on to the introduction of FDP by Dr. Mendes Jacob, who is the MD and CEO, IPSR Solutions Limited, Professor and Director, MCA Marine College, Kutikanam Autonomous. Dr. Mendes Jacob is an academician and entrepreneur with 35 years of experience and is the former Director of School of Applicable Mathematics, MG University. He has served as a resource person for many national and international seminars, conferences, and a number of faculty development programs, including UGC-sponsored refresher courses. His areas of interest include national education policy, outcome-based education, accreditation, etc. He is associated with many education institutions as chairman, member of various academic bodies. He is also the CEO of IPSR Solutions Limited, an IT company supporting higher education institutions in the implementation of outcome-based education and innovative teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sijin. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Most respected Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Tirupati Bharati, Professor N. Rajani, the Registrar, Professor V. Sarita, Professor Surya Kumar, Professor Jyoti, Professor Bhargavi, the esteemed faculty members of the university who are responsible for conducting this faculty development program, and all my colleagues from different institutions all over India who are attending this 1-week faculty development program. A warm welcome to all the distinguished guests. We are actually delighted to witness an enthusiastic response. We have more than 1,500 participants from diverse institutions across India attending this faculty development program. Definitely, this diverse gathering promises rich interactions and insights that will prove valuable in refining our approaches to innovative teaching, learning, and assessment activities, particularly in light of the challenges posed by the lack of expertise among faculty members in the practical implementation of outcome-based education. Our esteemed resource persons bring not only academic expertise, but also practical insights from industry and consultancy. They are all well-versed with outcome-based education and experienced both in the academic side and in the industry. In line with our commitment to innovation, our learning management system, the LMS, exemplifies the effective use of online platforms for higher education. The platform integrates various features, including workshops for learning and assessment, lesson activities for assured learning, and forums for collaborative engagement. Additionally, we will have tools like Mentimeter and Padlet, which is already incorporated to further enhance the participant experience. So every participant, they will get the access to LMS, those who have paid the participation fee, and a lot of content is also added to the learning management system. The upcoming sessions on AI platforms hold transformative potential for educators, providing strategies to streamline workload while enhancing the quality of assessments and research work. Every institution, when we conduct programs like this, the faculty members, when they interact, they used to say that the workload will increase when we implement outcome-based education. But I can tell you, with AI platforms, we can reduce the workload. At the same time, we can concentrate more on the innovative teaching, learning, and assessment activities. I'm pleased to announce that paid participants will receive a complimentary access to questionpaper.ai, an innovative platform facilitating the generation of course outcomes and the creation of quality assessments and question papers. So in less than 1 or 2 minutes, you can create question papers, you can have course outcomes, or you can have innovative assessments through this AI platform. So that will definitely reduce your workload. At the same time, you can have innovative teaching, learning, and assessment activities, which will definitely help you in the implementation of outcome-based education in a proper way. To ensure a comprehensive learning experience, we have structured the FDP with a balanced approach. As everybody knows, this is a program for 6 days, and only 2 hours we have the online sections. Approximately 30% of the topics will be covered through live sections, fostering real-time engagement, while the remaining 70% will be delivered through our learning management system. This design allows participants to learn at their own pace with embedded tasks and assignments for a hands-on experience. LMS access will be extended for an additional 10 days after the live sessions, promoting continued learning flexibility. I'm delighted to acknowledge the support of Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam for the conduct of this faculty development program. And we express our sincere gratitude to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, and the professors who are behind the organizing this FDP program. I acknowledge the hard work of Mr. Jaimon Kuriakos, Mr. Sijin George, and the entire technical team consisting of 15+ members who has worked day and night to make this event a reality. During the coming days, the participants will also get the support of our entire team. Without further delay, I will just introduce the learning management system, and also I would like to give an idea about the contents which is there in the learning management system. So I will share the screen. Hope you can see the screen. Yeah. So this is the day-wise schedule. Today we have the inauguration, and there will be a technical section by Dr. Sunil Job on the learning domains. And tomorrow we have again a section by Dr. Sunil Job, that is architecture of OBE and design of outcomes, how to design outcomes, course outcomes, or POs, PSOs, etc. Then on day 3, that is on Wednesday, there will be a section on mapping of outcomes, then calculation of attainment, and analytical reports, AES assessments. Okay, that section will be taken by me only. And day 4, it's on Thursday, we have a very good section by an expert who is well versed in outcome-based education, who has implemented OBE in some Canadian universities. So we'll have a section on the best practices and case studies of a Canadian university by Dr. Thomas Verghese. He's a program chair for the business school there in a Canadian university. And on day 5, we'll start with the ChatGPT and AI tools by Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. And also along with that, we'll have a section on underlying threats of OBE that will give you more insights about OBE and the benefits of implementing OBE. And the last day, again, we have a section on AI in research, how we can use the AI platforms for your research work. And you can, in that way, you can reduce your time for research. And another section of OBE for accreditation and useful, we will be having some tools introduced in the last day. So this is the schedule of the 6-day program. It's a 1-week program. And maybe you will get more time during the holidays, and the LMS access will be also extended for another 10 days so that you can go through the contents again. And regarding the learning management system, this is the learning management system. You will get access to LMS. Every day there will be a topic. There will be the recorded videos plus there will be some contents and tasks and assignments. There will be multiple choice questions. You can attend those questions, and there will be a standard operating procedure for each of the tasks given there. SOP for task 1, likewise. Every day you will have the recorded section, the contents for that day. Plus, you will get a lot of additional contents, reference materials, useful education tools, reference materials. So if you are planning to implement OB, or if you have already started implementing OB, then you will get a lot of insights about it. And there will be an OB manual. Those who are about to start, we can use that OB manual for your institution. There's a templates available. Okay. And there are videos based on ChatGPT and AI tools, prompt engineering. So a lot of content is available there in the learning management system. Probably you can use it for around 20 days so that you can learn many things regarding OB and Generative AI. So that's about the learning management system and the schedule of the FDP. So today we will start with the first section. Definitely that will every section on OB will start with the learning domains. That's by Dr. Sunil's job. In a couple of minutes, we will start the first section. So I expect that all the sections will be fruitful for all of you. And in between, we can have discussions and collaborations, because already the day-wise schedule, everything is uploaded on the LMS. You can go through that day-wise schedule there. So the sessions will be fruitful, and I wish all the best for all the participants. And probably in the coming days, we will interact again. Once again, thank you all for attending this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mendesa, for the introduction of the FDP. Now we will move on to the vote of thanks. Just to tell you that we will be having a technical session today on learning domains by Dr. Sunil Job KA. But first, we will have the vote of thanks that will be delivered by Professor S. Jyoti, Coordinator, DST Curie AI Center, Sri Padmavati Mahila Visvavidyalayam. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I thank to Dr. Mendes Jacob for giving acceptance to collaborate with us for conducting this faculty development program, 6 days faculty development program. And then I will say vote of thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor D. Bharati Garu, for giving her acceptance to go for MOU and make it success of this day. And thanks to our registrar also. She planned so many things for this FDP, and also her role is very active to go for collaboration with IPSR solutions. And I thank to resource persons, Dr. Sunil Job, professor and academic mentor, and also Dr. Suresh Mambutri from Pune, and Dr. Thomas Vagis from Canadian University to go for their outcome-based education. Really, I thank to our conveners, Dr. Sarita and Professor Sarita and Dr. Jan Sushma. She is the convener, second convener of our university. And I thank to Assistant Director Dr. P. Bhargavi. Actually, she communicated a lot to ISPR solutions, and this FDP we can conduct this FDP faculty development program on outcome-based education using generated AI. Actually, her role is very important here. Actually, she communicated a lot to you, and finally, we can get success to conduct this faculty development program. Sir, you have conducted so many programs. Actually, I attended your program, outcome-based program. Then onwards, I want to make a program with you, because it is very successful program, sir. I attended, Bhargavi and myself attended that program. So it is very successful. That's why I thank to participants from SPMVV and outside the SPMVV universities to join this FDP program. So definitely participants, it is useful for you in successful mode. How can we prepare assignments? How can we submit the our proposals to LMS portal? All these are very excellent manner they conducted previously. I attended one as a participant to one of the FDP program conducted by the Kerala ISPR solutions with Kerala Higher Education. So thank you once again, sir, and thank you to technical staff who behind the program. Definitely, if technical staff is not there, we cannot do anything. So I sincerely thanks to technical people and supporting people for conducting this faculty development. Once again, I will thank to Mendes Jacob Garu for accepting our invitation and come along with us. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Professor S. Jyoti, for the vote of thanks. Now we'll move on to the technical session for today. That will be on learning domains. This will be delivered by Dr. Sunil Job, KA, who's the Chief of Academic Solutions, IPSR, and is an Associate Professor and Academic Mentor, Marine College, Kottayam, Autonomous. Dr. Sunil Job has 30 plus years of experience in teaching and 10 plus years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Carmela Rani Training College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCT for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the Affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. He is an active blogger in cutting-edge technologies in IT, education, and data science. Dr. Job has published many articles in national journals and authored many academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has served as a resource person for a number of faculty development programs in basic education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently serving as associate professor and academic mentor, Marine College, Kottayam, Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sajid, for the wonderful introduction. First of all, let me thank the members of SPMVV for giving me an opportunity to be here and to interact with you in this very contemporary topic in the higher education domain, outcome-based education, and how we'll be able to integrate the possibilities of generative AI in making a very smart implementation and of these outcome-based educations. So without doubt, I could say and assure that this 6 days program will definitely will be benefited, and if you are attending it in a very passionate way, definitely the implementation of outcome-based education could be done in a very smart way. And as Dr. Mendes has very specifically said that these 2 hours of live sections will give you a 30% coverage into our this outcome-based education and the relevant task and the real life of this outcome-based education is there at the LMS, which is at your disposal. Why at your disposal is that if you are not able to attend these live sections, the video will be there in the LMS, as well as it showcases a very relevant task related to the implementation of outcome-based education. And there are a lot of course materials which will be available there, which you can refer and you can make a learning. And there are many opportunities for collaboration. That is something very great, because there are 2 forums which will be active and live in the LMS. Which one forum is there to that is showcase any doubts related to the outcome-based education. So once you are posting some questions there, definitely the persons who are visiting that LMS is getting an opportunity to share their ideas and practices, which is a greater opportunity for collaborating and sharing the good practices in outcome-based education. And not only that, there is another forum which showcases on the tools that they are able to integrate in these outcome-based educational processes. So definitely, if you are utilizing these resources as well as the live sections in the right way, definitely you can have a very good learning and about the different good practices in LMS, in outcome-based education. And in almost, not almost, in all of our programs in outcome-based education, we start with the learning domains with Bloom's taxonomy. So actually, why we do that is, it is that important. Because obviously, we know that most of you will be familiar with the Bloom's taxonomy and about the learning domains. So, but still, let it be a revisit to your knowledge about Bloom's taxonomy. Because if you want to implement the outcome-based educations in its real sense, this Bloom's taxonomy will be a leading light for framing and formulating the outcome-based education in its right way, as well as the real essence of outcome-based education lies in how you interact with the scholars, how you interact it. If you want to interact with the scholars, if you want to select and adopt the appropriate methodology, if you want to go with the right strategies that fits the outcome-based education, that is, if you want to redesign your pedagogical stuff in the lines of outcome-based education, definitely Bloom's taxonomy is something very important. That gives you a leading light to strive to go through these outcome-based education process in the right way. And coming to the assessment also, the most important thing in an outcome-based education scenario is that to ensure whether the outcome is met or not. So if you want to identify that the indicators related to the outcomes that you have given importance, or the outcomes that you selected for your curriculum, the most important thing is that identifying the indicators. Excuse me. Identifying the indicators. So only by identifying the indicators, you will be able to ascertain whether the outcome is met or not. So if you want to have a real concept regarding the indicators appropriate for your outcomes, there also the Bloom's taxonomy is important. So in a very simple terms, I will say that Bloom's taxonomy will be spanning the entire process of outcome-based education in all these phases. So that is why we are going with the Bloom's taxonomy in as a that is a setter for the outcome-based education. So this will set the stage for the outcome-based education. I think we can directly go into our. I have got few slides to share with you. So on the process of presenting the slides, we will be gaining more insights into this outcome-based education, as well as this Bloom's taxonomy will be helpful for you for ascertaining what is the level of learning that has been happening, etc., etc. So let me go into my slides. I think, okay, so before sharing, I think let me mute my video that because of the, to reduce any issues regarding the connectivity, I'm just keeping the video close. Okay, now, Sithin, I would like to know whether my screen is visible and there is no issue with the audio part.
Yeah, your screen is, yeah, screen
it
is
is
visible
okay.
and you're audible. Yeah.
Okay, Sithin. Thank you. So we can, let me put it in the presentation mode. So over to taxonomy. As obviously, we know that the Bloom's taxonomy in the sense is nothing but the classification. That is what Benjamin Bloom is the person behind this Bloom's taxonomy. So in Bloom's taxonomy, what we come across is that learning is a process that progresses from a very simple to a complex destinations. So if you just scale the roadmap of learning, we could see that the learning will be something that progresses from simple, direct to concrete, and this simple, direct to complex and abstract. So learning will be something which will be progressing in that way. And what Bloom's taxonomy brings out is that, whether I would like to know whether there's a echoing which has been, because I just kept my mobile also on because I want to
No,
read
it's
the
okay.
chat.
You're not
No
echoing.
issues. No, okay.
No.
So we shall go ahead. So what I've said is that the roadmap from the simple and direct learning experiences to complex and what you could say from to complex and abstract learning experiences is being divided into different levels on the basis of the cognitive challenge that these experiences bring onto the learner. So Bloom's taxonomy is just a classification of the learning experiences in this roadmap on the basis of its complexities. And the knowledge about this is something very essential because that will give you a clarity on what learning experiences should be given or what prerequisite is needed in order to build up the learning experiences for the current scenario. So that is something very important. So we'll be getting clear insights into this when we go through these presentations. So let us go ahead. I have just showcased one simple slide on what is learning, because Bloom's taxonomy is all about the process of learning. So it is important that we include something about what is learning. And what I have tried to do is that I've just taken the most simplest sentence, a simplest narration on what is learning. You can just go through that. Learning obviously is a process that lead to change. So when we read that statement, we see that learning is something that brings about change. Change in whom? The learner. So the learning will be something that brings about change in the learner. And this change can be in the way in which the learner thinks. That is, the learning can bring about some changes in the intellectual domain of the learner. Or that can something that can happen in how he feel, or how he set his emotions, or how he values something, or how he set attitude. The change can happen in that area. Or the change can happen on how he performs some motor skills. some activities which has been dominated by motor skills. The change can happen in that way also. So whatever it may be, learning is something that brings about change in that individual. So now we can just think about our normal classroom interactions that we often make with the scholars. Obviously, that is, if you go into a classroom, if you enter a classroom for some for giving some learning experiences to the learner, at the entry, when you enter into the classroom, definitely the students will be having some initial behavior level, and you will be interacting with the students for about 1 hour or something like that. And after your interaction, will the students be there in the same level? The answer will be definitely not. They will be enhanced into a higher level. So what is the differences that you have brought about in the learner? That is the change. What is the change that you have brought about in the learner? Every classes, while you're interacting with the students, take the students to a higher level than what they were before. That is the change that you have brought about through the process of teaching. And teaching and learning, they are counterparts. Wherever there is a learning, there will be an environment that facilitate that learning, and that environment we can call it as a teaching environment. So this change, when we come into an outcome-based scenario, we will be prefixing what should be the change, what the students are capable of doing, what is the output after the particular class in the form of outcome, in the form of immediate outcome. That is prefixed first. And in the duration of your class and interaction with the students, you will ensure that outcome is met. Actually, that is the real soul of outcome-based education. It is a directional thing that lead you to what are the essential ingredients of how you should steer your curricular components, so that the change that you have forecasted prior to your classroom interaction is met. That is nothing but the outcome-based education. If you just say that it is not a very explosive thing, it is only just a directional component. You are prefixing what you want the students to do after your class ahead, and you are steering in that activities so that this is met. If you take it, conceive it in that spirit, definitely you have become the master of outcome-based education. Suppose if you are given with the topic, I've started from this word change. Suppose if you are given with a topic to teach, okay, a topic to teach in any of the semester. The semester may be about 5 to 6 months, or maybe it is a 4-credit program, whatever it may be. So that you can just apply the same logic here. Before starting your class with respect to that course, the students that you are going to teach will be at that particular initial level, and by the end of the course, that means 6 months program, the 6 months you are continuous interacting with the students, definitely the students will be elevated to a terminal level. Check out the difference. The difference is the change that you have brought about through your that particular course that you have given to the students. All right. And in an outcome-based scenario, you are prefixing what is the change that I have to bring about in the students after my after teaching my this particular course. That has been prefixed, and during the 6 months of your continuous interactions, you will be steering the students so that this outcome is met. And what is that? That is nothing but the course outcome. You are written course outcome ahead before starting, and you are constructively aligning all the activities so that this outcome is met. So what is it? This is nothing but a directional thing. Nothing but a directional thing, steering to the destinations without wasteful energy, without wasteful effort, etc. So this is all, this is the essence. And we are putting it into different formats, and we are hooked up with the different complexities of the format. The essence and the soul of outcome-based education is this: it is a directional thing that lead you to the destinations which we have prefixed at the starting point. That's it. And you can just make it in little more higher level. When a student get enrolled for a program, the same thing happens. They will be at an initial level of behavior, and by the end of the program, maybe the 4-year integrated program, whatever it may be, they will be elevated to a higher level. So you are prefixing it in advance, prefixing it first, and ensuring that it is met by the program. So this is the essence of outcome-based education, and this is how the learning should happen. If you conceive it in its real sense, then obviously you can you have become an expert in outcome-based education. And the other thing should happen. The methodology, pedagogy, all these things, we are experts. So this gives a direction to all these methodology and pedagogy. That is the sense. And the thing is that we are just creating confusions with the different other built-up things which comes around the outcome-based education. So here we go. So I've just taken the term learning. So now I think you got the clear what is learning and how we can relate it to the outcome-based education, right? And before, I have mentioned that change can happen in three ways. The change can happen in how you think. The change can happen in how you set attitude, and change can happen in how you develop skills. So these three domains, the learning, the change will be happening in these three domains in the way which I have mentioned first, from simple to complex. And what Benjamin Bloom has done is that he has divided these three domains into the level of difficulty, or the level of difficulty, or the level of cognitive challenge, or the level of effective challenge that these levels bring to the learner. That is nothing but the Bloom's taxonomy. And obviously, when we speak about Bloom's taxonomy, it is obvious that you should recognize who is Bloom. The gentleman smiling at you is none other than Benjamin Bloom. He has come up with this taxonomy in 1956, and later on it has been revised by the associates of Benjamin Bloom in 2001. So I think you just read the first that statement that I've given. It's something that has been given by Benjamin Bloom. Is it? And you just think that whether it is encouraging, isn't it? What any person in this world can learn. Almost all persons, a person who is not having any critical challenges, almost all persons can learn. And there is a if condition. What is it if conditions all about? If provided with appropriate prior and current conditions of learning. So this highlights, this gives a clear-cut vision about the problems which has been happening in the teaching learning environment. When you say that the students are not picking up in the right way, the problem is not with the students. It is because we are not providing an appropriate prior and condition. Learning happens in a continuum. If you're giving the right prior conditions, which is essential for the current learning, the learning will happen. Will happen. Anybody can learn. So, how to make a rapport or connection between prior and condition? That could be very well done if you have a concept on Bloom's taxonomy. Because taxonomy means learning should happen in a continuum from simple to complex. Simple is prior to complex. So if you should have a connection between them, definitely learning will happen. Okay, you can just read Bloom's taxonomy is a set of 3 hierarchical models. What is the 3 all about? What is the 3? Because I told that the change can happen in how you think. That is, the change can happen in the intellectual domain. That is one. The change can happen in how you set attitude. That is second. And the change can happen on how you perform some motor skills, some activities which is being dominated by motor skills. The change can happen on how you, these are the 3 areas. And Bloom's taxonomy is a hierarchical model. What is the hierarchy in that learning which happens in the intellectual? What is the hierarchy in the attitude? And what is the hierarchy in the physical, some activities which is been dominated by motor skills? The Bloom's taxonomy is all about this, isn't it? The first one, we can say it as cognitive domain. That domain, that component which is related to intellectual abilities and skills. The second domain, you can call it as affective domain, which is something related to how you set attitude, feelings, emotions, etc. And psychomotor domain, about the physical and motor skills, how you are, some activities which gives priority to the physical and motor skills. So this Bloom's taxonomy is something very, very important. If you have a clarity on these components, then that is very essential for you for setting up of curriculum in the Bloom's taxonomy in the outcome-based format. So now in these presentations, we will be giving more priority to this cognitive domain, because the cognitive domain is more related to the knowledge, acquisition of knowledge, how knowledge is built in the learner. So formulation of curriculum, we are showcasing how the knowledge should be presented to the learner. And the other domains like affective and psychomotor domain will be coming to the learner as the hidden curriculum. So how we set attitude, honesty, all these things will not come as something, the value, all these things will not come as a concrete thing. It will be embedded with the knowledge. So in these presentations, we'll be prioritizing on cognitive domain. So the cognitive domain revised, that is 2001. This is what I've told, that Benjamin Bloom has given the Bloom's taxonomy in 1956, and it has been revisited and revised by his associates Anderson on 2001. So what we are looking up is the version that has been given by Anderson. Obviously, you are much familiar with this pyramid of Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, you can, at the both side of this pyramid, you can see an arrow going up. What does it signify? One going from simple to complex, and the other going from concrete to abstract. This is the roadmap of learning. And what Benjamin Bloom has done, he has classified this roadmap from simple to complex into different levels. That is nothing but the different levels of learning according to Benjamin Bloom. And you will be familiar with all these levels. Okay, what is the first basic level of learning? It's nothing but remembering. When do we say that I remember? It is a memory level of learning, isn't it? So if you want to remember something, if you want to cram something or keep something in memory, it is not essential that you should have a thorough understanding. You can keep something in memory either with understanding or without understanding, isn't it? Understanding means knowing the meaning. So the basic level is first store it in memory, isn't it? So, because we know that in our Vedic system of education, you'll be very familiar how teaching learning has been happening, isn't it? In their methodology, we know that Sravana, Manana, and Nidhyasana. That is, whatever that comes from Guru will be first heard by the disciples, Shishya. So when they hear something, what is the process, the intellectual process that happens first? It is just putting it into the memory. That is something through hearing. They will hear the different verses of from Sanskrit. They will first hear and store in memory. And after that, what is happening? They will keep on meditating on what is being heard. The process of thought process become active. So what happens? That is from Sravana to Manana. They will Manana means thinking. The thought process will become active. In the thought process, what has been dominating there? Intellectual activities. So let's try to bring about the real meaning of what they have learned. And Nityasana, they will be transferring it into us at the higher level of application. That's how learning has happened even before Benjamin Bloom in our ancient educational system. This is very explicitly presented in the form of Sravana, Manana, Nityasana, how the Shishya gain knowledge from the Guru and disciples. So the next level is understanding. Obviously, understanding means once they have stored something in the memory, they have gone to the next level of getting the meaning of what they have got it. So you can the first level remembering happens because we are connected with the external world through our five senses. You see, you hear, you smell, touch, all these things through all these senses, the impulses will reach to the brain and it will get stored as memory. That's the first level of learning, isn't it? You hear me. What is the real process which has been happening? I am creating sound. I'm creating some sound waves, and it is coming to you through your ears, like eardrum, making vibrations. It will be taking to the Malasinger's tapes through cochlear, reaches the auditory nerve, and comes to the central nervous system and gets stored as memory. Likewise, all the senses will take the impulses, get stored in the memory. Once it is stored, the second process of intellectual apprehension of what has come to the memory will happen, and that will take you to the meaning of what you have, what you have memorized or stored it in the memory. So it is at this level. It is at this level the students gain the conceptual knowledge, isn't it? You are teaching them a lot of principles. You are teaching them a lot of theories. You are teaching the students different these laws. So likewise, you are communicating the students with the different concepts. All these concepts have got some bit of abstractions in that. The students will gain the real meaning of all these things at this level understanding. So what happens is that in our normal teaching lessons, the conceptual learning happens at the second level understanding. And when do we say that whatever that they have understood, whatever knowledge that they've gained becomes meaningful? Only when they transfer their learning into some familiar situations and solve the problems through their application of their knowledge. Then only it becomes meaningful. So application is a level of learning that transfers their knowledge into some useful bits of applications through that particular knowledge. So that is application level. So application is using informations to some, I repeat, unfamiliar situations, transferring it and solving it. So that is application level. And what comes higher to application is nothing but analysis. What is happening? Analysis is what I would like to say is that it is a higher order application. That is, you are working with a very complex situations, and the complex situations are dealt by breaking the complex situations into different components, and you'll be applying your knowledge into different components, and you're trying to find out the association between these two, all these components. That is actually analysis. So in every analytical procedure, there will be a breaking down of a complex situations into different components. When we go for a PhD, what is really happening in analysis. You will take one objective and you will fragment that objective into different parameters connected to that objectives, and you will make your observations related to these different parameters, create different tables, and to find out the relationship between the different parameters, and you will be answering that objective. That is analysis. That is analysis, isn't it? So suppose if you want to compare between this actually mobile phones, two gadgets, I will say that it's a mobile phone. How will you do? So mobile phones is a complex instrument. If you want to make a clear analysis, what happens? You will be you won't break the mobile phone into different pieces, right? You will be breaking it into different components. Like you will be first comparing it with respect to the price component. You will be breaking it into the battery life. You will be breaking it into how much pixel that the display is. So likewise, you will be breaking a complex system into different components, and then you will be making a comparison analysis. So breaking a system into different components, and with respect to each component, you will be applying your learning. You will be applying the cost, the knowledge that you have about the cost factor into the first component. You will be applying knowledge about the battery life to the second component, likewise, etc. So that is analysis. So analysis is a higher order applications where you are applying your knowledge into different. For example, suppose if you're building up a computer program, the program has had made an error and it is not functioning. How will you bug fix it? You will analyze it. You will be segmenting the program, entire program, into different modules, and you will take first module and check how it has been functioning, whether there is any problem with that. Second module, you will transfer the output of the first module to the second module and check how it is functioning. Like that, you will be analyzing it module wise, and you will be identifying where the problem is. So that is bug fixing. So that is analytic. And what comes next to analysis? It is evaluation. So normally we say that both analysis and evaluation are so close to each other. Only with a thorough analysis you can have a authentic evaluation. I will just make the things clear with an example. Suppose if you are asked to evaluate a dance form, you are invited as a judge to evaluate a dance form. There are many participants who are taking part in the dance. So how will you do that? You will be setting different criteria of the dance, isn't it? How is the costumes? How is the step? How is the music? Whether they are doing it in live or whether it is coming as a recorded video. Likewise, you will be dividing the entire dances into different components, isn't it? And then you will be transferring your knowledge into these different components and check whether the dance forms, how well each criteria that you have set. Each criteria means you have broken the entire dances into different components, and you will check it out and how each participants are performing. Analysis. And after that, on the basis of analysis, you will say this is the best form. This participant has performed in its best. So that is on the only after the analysis you are passing judgment regarding the performance. That is what I told, that both analysis and evaluation comes very close to each other, isn't it? So only after a thorough analysis you will evaluate, you will rank their performance, which is the best, etc., etc., etc. So analysis is something prerequisite for a thorough evaluation, right? And what is the highest level? Creating. So what comes next to evaluation is you're creating knowledge. That is why when we are going with some research projects and all, isn't it? If you're going with a research project, what I say is that the most important component in the research is review of literature. So actually what is happening in review of literature? In review of literature, you are analyzing what is the status quo of the area that you are doing research. So you are, the review of literature, you are analyzing the different works that has happened in the area that you're conducting research. And on the basis of that analysis, you will be identifying what are the gaps which is there in this research. That is, you'll be evaluating what is the present status quo, what are the gaps. So this will lead you to what? This gap, this analysis of the gap, or what is the requirement, what is the necessity in that particular domain which you are working, isn't it? What is the problem that confronts at the present status? That will lead you to creating some new innovations, some new contributions into the bank of knowledge. So a thorough research will progress only through a thorough analysis. And what I've seen is that the scholars are not giving much importance to these analysis, just taking the content from ERIC documents and all, just sticking it, and obviously with some citations without going into what had happened into that. So we know that necessity is the mother of invention. So you will sense the necessity only through thorough analysis and evaluation of the context. This is something very important. So you know that the knowledge is something that is progressing in this way, from simple direct learning, which starts from memory level, to something a higher and a complex thing that helps you to contribute something to the bank of knowledge. And now you can just go through that statement that I have added as the at the end of this slide. Learning is a process engineered in such a way that one level is a prerequisite for other, and learning takes place in a continuum. Isn't it? Suppose if you want to understand something, it should come to your mind, it should come to your memory, it should come to your brain through the five senses. Then only you can think about that particular thing, and that will lead to understanding. If you really apply some concept in your real life situations, what is important? What is important? You should have a thorough understanding of the concept, then only you can apply it. If you want to analyze a complex situation, you should have that capability of splitting the complex situations into appropriate components and apply the learning which is appropriate to these components and find out the relationship. And if you want to have a thorough evaluation, a thorough analysis is needed. If you want to judge the dance form in the right way, you have to analyze the different components that constitute the dance. And if you want to go ahead with some productive contributions in the form of creations, definitely you should know what had happened and what is needed to be completed. That will lead you to innovations and researches. So this is how the learning should progress. And in this context, you can just see there is a connection between the prior and the current conditions. Suppose if you want to make the students something about, if you want to make the students, if you are teach the students to apply something, the prerequisite is that they should have a thorough conceptual knowledge. Isn't it? So likewise, one is a prerequisite for the other. Isn't it? That is why the prior and current condition of learning is something very important. And as an educator, if you are able to identify what is prior and current condition, definitely anybody can. Yes. So this is actually what is Bloom's taxonomy. And now in a few of my slides, I'm just going to take you through little more granular analysis on you can make an detailed analysis with respect to these different levels. That is something very important for us. So now let us take the first level. I've trisected the slides. You can just see that there are three components here: One something related to the demonstrated skills, the other something related to some action verbs that helps you to form questions. So the upcoming slides are something that help you to formulate questions at different levels or identify what level or what level of learning each question addresses. So my attempt is to take you through these things. So if the learner is at the remembering level, first level, what can you expect from the learner? The learner has just started with a particular topic. What can you expect from that learner? Can you expect some creative piece from that learner? He is just going to start learning at the first level, isn't it? That is at the first level when he has attained the remembering level. Remembering is nothing but memory level of learning. At memory level, what can you expect? Memory means you want them only to recollect or recall what is there, what he has tried to put it in the memory, isn't it? So only to recall at a memory level or remembering level, the intention is only to recall what he has told in the memory. And here we have got some set of verbs. These verbs are just helping you to formulate questions. And the verb is only a helping hand. They are not mutually exclusive. You can use the same verb at a lower level and a higher level. And the authority is the teacher. That is, at what context that you are using that verb, what cognitive challenge that you are bringing in the learner, isn't it? What the learner is expected to perform on that particular question. Actually, I would like to say that the questions are, learning is something you can perceive it in this way, a connection between stimulus and response, isn't it? You give questions to the students. What is the questions? The questions are some sort of stimulus that you are giving to the students. And the answers that they give is the response. So when learning happens, every questions that you give to the students will be connected to some desirable responses from the students. So actually it is making a connection between the stimulus and response, isn't it? So on the basis of what is the type of stimulus and what is the type of response that the students give on the basis of cognitive challenge, you can able to identify the levels of learning. So now let me take the first question. I've just given 3 questions, and these 3 questions I'll be taking it through the entire level. Okay. So suppose I am giving a question, Bloom's taxonomy. We were discussing about that. List the various domains in Bloom's taxonomy. If I ask that question, what is the cognitive challenge that this question brings in the learner? These questions could be answered if they are able to take it from the memory. What are the different that technical term or the technical name? List the various domains that Bloom has given to the different domains. We know that technical term is cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. These are the 3 domains, isn't it? If the students write cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain, they will be getting full credit. For now, I think if I ask this question, definitely all of you will be saying that, okay, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. I have explained to you what is cognitive domain. Obviously, you have answered. I didn't explain to you what is affective domain. I didn't explain to you what is psychomotor domain, but still you answered this. Why? Because this question do not demand an understanding level. This is only a memory level. If you know the technical term, okay, you will get the credit. So even if you are a PhD in Bloom's taxonomy, this question will demand only your ability to memorize this technical term, isn't it? So I didn't tell about what is happening in the affective domain, how you set attitude. isn't it? I didn't tell about this. This affective domain progresses in 5 levels: receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, characterizing. I didn't explain it to you. I told that it will come to you as a curriculum. I didn't say that the different levels of psychomotor domain happens in imitating something, then manipulating it, making precision on that, then articulation and naturalization. I didn't say about these 5 steps, but still you heard it. So this level, and in the remembering level, only your memory level is put to test. It do not necessitate that your understanding is there, isn't it? Read the second question. Define is the verb that I've used. Multiculturalism. When I say define, what normally says that you are restricting the freedom of the students. You want the students to write some definitions which has been given by some persons, and I've seen teachers reducing marks for the students if they are using some other technique, other words other than what that particular that particular sociologist or educationalist said about that particular definitions. If they have used some other words, even that word conveys the same meaning. I have seen teachers deducting marks because this is not the word that has been said by such and such person, isn't it? So, so this is here. These questions are bringing out control in the students, and that want them to memorize the exact words, the exact usage which has been given by the particular person. So it's imposing on memory level. Suppose if I asked abbreviate GST, the students, if they know that okay, goods and service tax, without knowing what is goods and service tax, how it is calculated, isn't it? They will be able to answer that question. It's only a memory level of learning. When you come to the next level, understanding level, you can just go through what are the skills. At the next level, they have attained a meaningful learning. That is, the students have attained, they grasped the meaning. Once they are understood the meaning, they have got little more control over that particular learning stuff, and they are be able to put the things in their own words. Why? Because they understood the things, they understood the meaning. So now they have got little more control over that particular learning stuff, and they are able to explain things in a right way. So these are some of the verbs that help you to frame questions in this understanding level. Let us take the same sequence of questions which I have taken in the previous slide. In the previous slide, I just given the question as list. So they will be able to answer that question if they are memorizing the technical term. Now I asked to explain the level of learning in cognitive domain. So if you want to answer that question, you should know what is cognitive domain, what are the different levels of learning which comes in the cognitive domain, and what are the cognitive process that happens at each of these levels. Then only you will be able to explain it. And if you're able to explain it in the right sense, what does it mean? You understood the concept. The concept learning has happened. So it is at the understanding level, you learn the concept, you learn the meaning of some definitions, you learn the theory, isn't it? You learn the different axioms, etc., happens. Learning. You understood, you get an understanding about the meaning about these theories, principles, etc., at these levels of learning. See, the second question, before I asked what? Define. So you have to just vomit the statement which somebody has told about the content. Here, I am giving you freedom. The students are asked to restate multiculturalism in their own words. They are given freedom. So once they have understood what is multiculturalism, they can present it in their own words. If they say that, okay, multiculturalism is just like a fruit salad. Oh, it's wonderful. Speciality of fruit salad is that each fruits are existing in that fruit salad with their own identity, without losing that identity, clubbed together with a cohesive force of, if it is if you could say that this the culture of India is just like a multiculturalistic society. Different cultures are existing in the cream of nationalism, just like that. If they're able to put it in these statements like that, we can very well say that this learning is little more higher than just memorizing what somebody has said. Okay. So summarize the process of computation of GST. If they're able to come, okay, GST, what constitutes the GST? That is state level GST. What is the rates of GST? Central state GST, is this applicable for that? And how to compute it? If they're able to put it in this way, that means they have a higher level of learning. They understood on how GST would be calculated. And coming to the higher level, applying. It's a very, the word itself is been signifies that applying is making the you are taking the learning to an utilitarian application, is taking it to a practical dimension, using it to some unfamiliar situations where you are able to solve the problems, isn't it? Using the method, you have learned the things. Okay, learning has happened, you understood the things, and you're transferring it into some unfamiliar situations whereby you are able to solve the problems related to that. So obviously, these are the sets of the verbs that may help you to formulate questions at application level. So coming to our what we are framing questions regarding Bloom's taxonomy. At the first instance, I told just at the second instance, at understanding level, I asked the learner to explain. And in the third level, what will I say? I am asking the learner or the participants to transfer what? The knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to the subject that they are handling and frame questions according to Bloom's taxonomy. So what is actually happening? You are applying Bloom's taxonomy to the subject that you are handling, and on the basis of Bloom's taxonomy, you are framing questions. So if I ask the frame to understanding level question, if you're able to frame it, that means you have transferred Bloom's taxonomy to the subject. If I ask, okay, frame to analytical level questions, then if you're able to create analytical level question, how it had happened? You're transferring the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to your subject. So that is how application happens. So likewise, illustrate multiculturalistic practices in the educational institution. So you have given them concept about multiculturalism, and if they are able to illustrate it, some practices with respect to multiculturalism, obviously you are transferring the concept of multiculturalism to your educational scenario likewise. So we can just go ahead because time is going. So I think you got the things clear. The first thing will brings more and more clarity to you. And in analyzing, actually, what is happening in this level of analyzing? Obviously, we know that analyzing, as I've told, that it is a little more higher level of what you could say application. That is, you are breaking in every analysis, you are breaking the situation into different components, and then you are applying your learning or knowledge into these components and try to find out the associations. That is what actually the technical process which is happening in analysis. Breaking a complex problem into parts, identifying the relationship between, okay, that's what applying that knowledge and identifying the relationship. So these are the different action verbs that come in the way of creating questions at an analytical level. So I will just let us Bloom's taxonomy is something that we are discussing all about, isn't it? So you can just see the pipeline of how the learning is progressing in the Bloom's taxonomy. First, we told list, then we told to explain, then we told to frame questions using Bloom's taxonomy. analytical level, what will be the questions that we can give at an analytical level? So here, categorize the given questions into various levels of cognitive domain. So what is happening in that particular situations? You are already giving different questions to the learner, and what the learner have to do is that learner have to identify which take that question. The learner has to analyze each questions, whether the question is going well with the remembering level, or you have to analyze whether it is going well with understanding level. You have to put it into a test, analyze how the things are happening, what cognitive challenge this question brings to the learner, and what level that this question address the best in terms of a cognitive challenge. And on the basis of that, you identify that, okay, this is an analytical level questions. So you are going drilling into that question and identifying what cognitive challenge that this question brings in the learner in terms of the levels of learning. That is how you identify. Okay, I'll bring another example. You just we are very giving that in chemistry. You are asking the students to conduct a salt analysis, experiment salt analysis. How do they do? Isn't it? By taking at the salt, they may not be able to identify which is the salt. What will they do? They will take a small component of the salt. They'll do some different testing process, isn't it? They will do some testing process in the nitrate test, sulfate test, like that. Different types of tests they will do independently. So they fragment that salt into different components. They do different tests independently and try to combine all their observations to find out what the salt really is. What is that? Analysis. I told about debugging of a computer program. How to identify the error? You are analyzing. That is, you won't be going. The program will be very big. It may be connected into different modules wise. Isn't so? You can just take the different modules and just check out how the things are working, whether modules are independently working as it is configured for, and you can just transfer that output from each module to the other inputs and check how it has been happening. Likewise, you will be able to establish connections between this. So that is an analysis. So suppose if you want to make a comparisons between, there are questions here. Compare the approaches of multicultural practices between two countries. Isn't it? I have used the word compare, that action verb compare. How will you compare? What we do is that we will just divide the systems of two countries. What is the form of government of the two countries? What is the state of welfare of the people with respect to the two countries? Isn't it? Likewise, you are dividing the entire system into different components, and then you are comparing it. So it gives more, it is a very higher level of learning. You are breaking down the entire system into different components, and then you are making detailed analysis about different components and making a thorough analysis regarding that. That's analytic. So here, the third question, we will be discussing about GST. So at an analytical level, you can just make a comparison on compare and contrast between GST and value-added tax, VAT. So what do? They will just the two independent tax format, and they can make comparison on these two value-added tax as well as GST and with respect to the different components. So that is what an analytical level question. And going to evaluation level, evaluation means we know that something that comes after analysis, something what you are passing your judgment on the basis of analysis. You are passing your judgment on the basis of analysis, the final judgment, whether it is worth or not, which is good and which is bad. Suppose I told that which mobile phone is good according to your point of view. What do? You will make analysis first. Analysis with respect, when you make analysis, you have to break it into different components. And you have to apply your knowledge with respect to these components. And on the basis of the different criterias, you will be making judgment that this is superior to that. The same way dance form. Obviously, we'll be familiar with this what you could NIRF accreditation. So for NIRF accreditation, what is that? The entire colleges with respect to different categories will be presenting their SSR to the Human Resource Ministry, this NIRF cell. And what they do is that they will be analyzing the performance of each college who have submitted the SSR. And on the basis of this analysis, they'll be quantifying their performance with respect to the different criteria, right from teaching, learning to perspectives. Likewise, different, I think 5 criteria are there. So they will be analyzing it on the basis of this criteria. And then they will be consolidating the total performance with respect to the criteria. And on the basis of this scores, they will be ranking. Ranking means you are evaluating which is best, isn't it? So they will be presenting the with respect to different categories. With respect to arts and science college, we say that okay, Mirinda College is the best college in India. If it is engineering college, we say that IIT. Hello.
Just 1 second. I think your slides are not present now.
Slides are not present. Let me. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think
it went.
Okay. How is it now?
Yeah. Okay. Now.
Okay. Evaluating level. So we were just discussing about, so these are the different verbs that can help you to form questions at this evaluation, like a ranking. We were discussing about ranking. Ranking means you are finding out which is the best, evaluating. And this ranking happens only after thorough analysis. In the previous instance, I have asked you to, you are appointed as a judge for some evaluating some dance form. That means you're ranking their performance, and ranking happens only after thorough analysis. So this is how the things have to work. So coming to our question, that is Bloom's taxonomy. Before I have given you the participants different question, and I asked to identify which question it could be considered as, isn't it? I just want to classify the questions into different levels. So that is an analytical task. Now I ask the question, do you think you can prepare questions for all levels of Bloom's taxonomy in your subject? Justify. Justify is something very important, not yes or no. Justify. If you want to answer that question rightly, what you want, you should know what is Bloom's taxonomy. You should have a thorough understanding of Bloom's taxonomy. You should try to apply this Bloom's taxonomy in your subjects. You have to analyze the different use cases where you could apply and where you could not apply. You have to evaluate what is the status of Bloom's taxonomy with respect to your subject. Then only you will be able to answer this question in the right way. That is why justify. So if I ask this question, justify, you have to reach that much of level. That is the different use cases where it could be applied, where it cannot be applied. And you're telling me that, sir, your Bloom's taxonomy, right, it is very good, but for my subject, it is not working well. If you want to say something like that, you have to attain a very higher level of learning up to the evaluation level, isn't it? So likewise, evaluate the tax, GST and VAT. You believe which is better, considering the advantages and disadvantages. So if I ask a question like that, isn't it? Evaluate which tax, GST or VAT, you believe better. Suppose if you want to answer that question, you want to evaluate. So if you want to evaluate, you should know what is GST, how to calculate GST, what is value added tax, how to calculate value added tax, what is the merit of value added tax, is the merit of GST, and then only you will be able to say which is better. So if you are putting this question, a mere knowledge about GST will not serve. You should know the GST. You should have many experiences in calculating. You should analyze the different and cons. Then only you will be able to answer. Suppose if you are answering if you are giving a question to identify about the merits and demerits, it is an evaluation level question that could be answered only when you have a thorough knowledge about that particular topic. You have applied it in different scenarios. Then you have to go and analyze it from different angles. Then only you will be able to showcase about the merits and demerits. Higher level question. So this should be very thorough when you are trying to bring about questions. And then coming to the highest level, creativity. Create means you are contributing something new to the bank of knowledge. I've given a diagram here. So analysis, you can see in an analysis, you could see that a complex situation has been divided into different components, and you apply the knowledge into different components and finding out the associations. But is to a greater extent synthesizing your experiences and knowledge to bring something new that is relevant to the problem. So after a thorough analysis, you would have sensed that these are some of the necessities, these are some of the shortcomings, these are some of the gaps which is there in the area which I am doing research. So you will be just bringing out your previous knowledges together so that you can add something new that could be able to fill the gaps in the relevant area that you are doing researches, or that will be able to solve the problems which you are working with. So this is how creating happens. That is why I told that when you are going for a research, the most important thing is that you should have a thorough analysis and evaluation of what had happened in the relative area that you've done. Then only you can have some authentic and smart researches and have a very good contributions in the area that you are doing research. So this is what has been happening. All the new ideas to create, new ones. So when we are going with this, because this is something, if you are conducting an examinations, we will not be able to put such type of questions in a 2 or 3 year examinations, grade level questions. That is why in our curriculum we give priority to projects which will steer students to different innovations and creativity, isn't it? So in the normal examinations we can include questions up to some analytical and even evaluation questions. So if you want to take the students to the higher level, you have to take them through the different activities which they can add, contribute something, which cannot. It is not possible to put a create level question in this a short examination. If you're creating means the authority is the student, and how can we will not be able to fix the valuation points. These are the points that the students should use for create level question. You cannot give it like that. So, so suppose we can go through this question. What are the create level? In the previous slide, you have told me that, sir, your Bloom's taxonomy is good, but it is not good for my topic. There are some limitations. These are some of the problems which is not answered by the Bloom's taxonomy. So obviously, what is next? We have to go and identify some new taxonomy which is compatible for your area. That is how creation or create level or research should happen, isn't it? So we told that we have analyzed the pros and cons of both the GST and VAT. What is next? Develop a new tax model. Develop a new tax model that incorporate the strength of both GST and VAT. That is how. You have just learned about the pros and cons of both the format, and combining these two, you are creating a new that will contribute both the strength of GST and VAT and reducing what are the negatives or the weaknesses of GST and VAT. That is how research should happen. And you will not be able to put such a question for your 1 hour exam or 2 hour exams, etc. This is why we should include projects and other assignments in our higher education scenario. isn't it? So when we go for project evaluations, the first question we definitely ask is that, what is your contribution? What is your innovation? Because all these activities are there, bring about some innovations. And I would like to add something. Suppose if you are giving an evaluation question, that is, if you want that evaluation question to be real evaluation question, you should not give the answer to the question prior, isn't it? Because we could say that up to an application level question is a lower order question, and something beyond that, analytical evaluation and creations, are higher order questions. Suppose for a higher order questions, if you are giving the solutions to the students priorly, these higher order questions will not become a higher order question. That will not put that much of cognitive challenge to the students. Suppose if you are giving an evaluation question for the exams, and priorly if you are given the answer to that question, definitely that question will not bring about the cognitive challenge to the students that question demand. You are really killing that question, isn't it? It will be just like, suppose if I say to the student that I will be giving you a surprise test tomorrow. I will be giving you a surprise test tomorrow. What is the surprise in that? Isn't it? You very well know that tomorrow there will be a test. So how can you say that it is a surprise test? The same thing. If you're giving the answer to an evaluation question in advance, will it be an evaluation question to the student? They will just by heart it or they understand it. So you are evaluating, the students are not evaluating. So all these questions, all these things, if they become the real sense, then definitely all these questions should not be exposed to prior. Then only they will be able to, if you're giving them printed notes in advance, then that will not bring that much of cognitive challenge in that learner. So these are some of the fallacies that can happen in that education system. And obviously we know that the new education policy, the most important highlight of the 2020 policy is that it is giving a lot of autonomy, both to the institutions, to the teachers, to the students, etc., etc., etc. So while we are, because by 2030, all the institutions will be coming to an autonomous standards, either standalone or in the form of a cluster. So you have got a lot of freedom to visualize how your assessment system should be. So you should, because in most of the recommendations of new exams reforms, it is said that you have to give more priority to we have to give ample priority to both the lower order as well as the higher order, not neglect the higher order questions. That is not to take the entire questions to the higher order. You should give priority to both the higher order and lower order questions according to the decisions of these board of studies and academic councils that the institutions been holding. So the important is that I would say that if you want to enhance the quality of your educational system, the most simplest way of increasing the quality is that just enhance the level of the assessment tools. The level of assessment tools is that you include the fair representation. I mean fair representation from higher order as well as lower order. Isn't it? So if you are putting fair representations for higher order and lower order, what happens is that the students will be bound to reach that particular level. And once they are bound to reach the particular level, definitely that will enhance their ability. They become a productive unit of the society who are able to meet the challenges of the life and career when they pass out of the education institutions. So that is something very important. So this Bloom's taxonomy will able to figure out what learning experiences will take the students to the higher order, and that also will be helpful for formulating outcomes. So now I'll be giving you a small task. You can put it in chat, because all these times I wonder that you have felt asleep, isn't it? You can just put it in chat. What is the level of learning according to this question? You can put it whether it is K1, K2, etc. K1 is remembering level, K2 is understanding level, K3 is application, K4 analysis, K5 evaluation, and K6 creation. What level you can give to this question? Student learn from notes. The answer to the question is analyze the motives of speech by Mark Antony in Shakespearean play Julius Caesar, and the student gives a perfect answer to the questions. So what level you can give to this question? There are many answers are coming. There is a conflict between some says that it is K4, some says that it is K2. There is a conflict. So this is the same thing that which I have told earlier. The question is analysis. Yes, obviously, it's a very famous thing that Mark Antony's speech. I came to Paris, you said not praise. So it is, the question is analysis, but according to this context, you have filled the analytic nature of the question, isn't it? You have given the answer in advance to the students. So does this question brings that cognitive challenge in the student? Isn't it? The students just read through the answers and they will try to understand or sometimes memorize it, understand. And I told that they have written it perfectly. That means they understood that and written. So this question only bring a K2 level challenge in the learner. The question is analytic, but this question brings only a K2 level challenge in the learner. Isn't it? So what is this? Very simple. I didn't go with the topology or something like that. Simple. Volume of a cube. We know that the volume of the cube is side into side into side. Suppose if I give a question, find the volume of the cube when one of the side is not. Or suppose say that is a cube with the side 10 units. What is the volume? What level? Here also there is a conflict. Whenever we see a problem, there is a tendency that putting that problem into an application level, isn't it? So here you told that the area, the volume of the cube is side into side into side. This is what either they have memorized or they have understood it. Instead of side, they are putting what? Instead of side S into S into S, if I say that side is 10, they'll put 10 into 10 into 10. And that is why when we went with application, I told that application is transferring that knowledge into some unfamiliar situations. Transferring the knowledge to some, what is unfamiliar situations here? You know that formula, sometimes you would have by hearted, just substituted it. What is unfamiliar situation? So it is not application level. Isn't it? If you want that question to an application level, you can reframe it in little more higher order. Suppose you can say that, what is the time taken for the water to fill a cubical tank? The time taken by this water to fill the cubical tank if this much of liter of water comes in 1 minute. There it is application, because you have to identify what is the capacity of the tank. For that you have to use what the volume of the tank has to be calculated, isn't it? And then you have to divide. So this is some applications there. So direct substitution, the formula cannot be considered as an application, because we know that S into S into S. Instead of S, you say 10 into 10 into 10. So it is, so application. That is why some unfamiliar situation, then it becomes application. Okay, this you will say very sharply. The students is asked to conduct an experiment and examine the result of the experiment and record its conclusion, isn't it? You're talking about okay, salt and all. So what is the student is asked to conduct an experiment. Okay, conduct an experiment and record. Okay, so that is actually an analytical. isn't it? An experimental situation has been done. He has been making some observations with respect to and he's been analyzing it. So it could be considered as a K4. So instance, for example, a salt analysis is doing some different component then final assessments. Debate the pros and cons of net banking. Net banking. Pros and cons. Debate the pros and cons of net banking. Obviously, if you want to debate pros and cons of net banking, okay, you have to evaluate what is the strength, what is the weaknesses. Then it is just you are evaluating the net bank. Okay, so that is an evaluate level question. Very good. Match the following: invention and inventors. Match the following. And book and author. Matching book and author. Yes, it is just a memory level. Suppose if I say that who is the author of this Macbeth, even without reading the Macbeth, you will be able to answer that. Okay, it's a Shakespearean play, Macbeth. Or who is behind this invention, isn't it? You will be able to remember who is the person, even without knowing what is that invention, etc. You will be able to answer. So it's just a memory level question. Okay, this you don't answer. Because we have already told that creating a model, it's a create level question. So I think now this is an attempt to analyze the question and to identify what cognitive challenge this question brings in the learner, isn't it? These questions are not to analyze what cognitive challenge this question brings in the learner. Is it a cognitive challenge related to a K1 level, K2 level, etc., etc., etc.? And we have a small task that could be done with this. So this will be available in your LMS. You can, there is a standard operation procedure how to answer this. So I will just explain how this could be done. How this could be done. You can select any previous year question paper. That question paper in the sense that question paper that you are handling, and the question paper will be having a set of questions. For example, if there are 20 questions, irrespective of choice or something like that, you can take one question each. Take the first question, read it, and you can just, there is a drop down here, isn't it? If it is from section 1, okay, section 1, section A, what is the cognitive challenge that question brings to the learner? Isn't it? You know that now, according to Bloom's taxonomy, whether it is a remembering level question or application level question, whatever it may be, you can select it from the drop down and what's the marks these questions have. So likewise, you can enter every questions from the question paper, and in the this is an automated sheet which I have prepared. So you can answer it in this. So here you can just give the program name. The course name could be given here. The program name, probably maybe it's a BCom, or this is the course name, the year and semester. These could be added. And once you fill it, these things will be showcased. It is an automated sheet. We'll be able to understand, okay, we have about 43% questions from understanding level. Percentage, 43% marks is from this. Likewise, you will be getting informations from these visual charts, etc. And also you are getting some information regarding, there are 24% of higher order questions and 7% of lower order questions. And so this is, you are analyzing your question paper and identifying what is the distribution of questions in your question paper. And on the basis of this, you are able to write your observations here. You can write your observations regarding the question paper, whether this question paper is up to the mark. What is your evaluation regarding the question paper? So you are going and analyzing the question paper in the terms of Bloom's taxonomy, and you are recording your observations on whether the question paper is up to the mark, or whether what all improvement you have to put into this question paper likewise. So it's taking you to an analytical level in this question paper preparation, etc. So that is all for today, and you can when you go to the LMS, the details will be there. Standard operation procedures will be given there, so you can go through that and complete the task. So, Sidin, over to you. You can just take any questions which need to be answered.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil, for that wonderful session. If you have any questions, you can put that in the chat, and Sunil will take it.
So there is a question that can you give evaluation level questions? What level of question you should give is your freedom, because actually when you come to an outcome-based education, what is the possibility of the topic that you are handling? That should be taken into consideration, and you can give the question, isn't it? But what I said is that creative questions is not been possible to put it in paper pencil exam for your this external examinations, because one thing is that we know that they are not they will not be having a unique valuation point. If there is a unique valuation point, it will not be create level. And second thing is that that should take more time, isn't it? You can give assignments, or you can give what could projects and all, in order to ascertain whether they have going to an higher order level. Whether students to be explained of this methodology, there is no need to explain this methodology. The methodology is something that methodology. What is actually the methodology? It's something way of doing something. So when you are going with some methodology or pedagogical approach, it should be you should conceive it and you can reproduce. There is no need to tell that now you are going to go like that. That will help you to steer your activities. Is it necessary?
There are some people.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I will take this question.
Okay.
There are some people asking for how to access the LMS.
Okay.
For accessing the LMS, you need to make the payment to the account details that I put in the chat, and you need to WhatsApp that copy of the payment to the number provided. Then you will get access to the LMS. You'll get the details by email. Yes, sir. Is it necessary to cover all levels?
Actually, the level should be decided on the basis of the possibility of this subject that you're handling. So if you're going to have an introductory level to some courses, you will not be able to take them to the create level. It is illogical. Consider the possibility of the topic that you're handling, and you can take the students to that level which is possible from that particular topic that you handle. Okay, so that is that is a logical thing that you have to do. The possibility will decide to what level you have to take, and that could be showcased in the outcome. That is why in the next section we will be connecting it together. Sujit, please read because the things are.
When we will prepare the questions, which level we should follow maximum?
That's what I told, that the possibility of the content that you are going to teach, you should explore with respect to that content. The content is really the tool that takes the students to the particular learning. So possibility is in the sense that what is the possibility with respect to that content. On the basis of that only, you can take the students to the what level of learning. Sometimes the possibility will be taking them only to an application level. So you can take them to that level. There is no hard and fast rule to say that every topic that you teach, you should take the students to the create level now. That is what is the possibility is been decided by You are the king in your topic that you are handling. So you can decide what is the level that you have to take.
The term illustrate was found in K3 and K4. Will the usage create a confusion in the mapping process?
No, actually, these verbs are used for just to facilitate the things. I will just say that you can take identify. Take the term identify. You can just suppose if you ask a small boy to identify between an apple and orange, you have used the term identify. They are able to identify it with respect to the conceptual idea that apple is like this, or the color, so identification on the basis of the conceptual knowledge. The same identify you can just give to identify the salt. In salt analysis, you cannot just identify it on the basis. You have to break it into different small components, do all the type of analysis, and then only you will be coming to a conclusion that this salt is this. So you have used identification for a conceptual level, and you have identification for a higher order level. The same term is used. So you don't think that to which level it addresses is purely decided by the teachers. You are the authority, and these verbs are something that may help you only. So while reading that question, you have to bring it into mind what cognitive challenge this question gives to the learner, whether it is an analytical level or whether it is an understanding level, isn't it? So that is it's only for some usage. So that is why the same verbs can come at different levels. So then you can take the question, because
Can more than one level be assessed with a single question?
more than one level could be assessed. Suppose we know that learning is something that happen in a continuum. If you want to reach understanding level, definitely memory level is below that. You have to cover memory level and come to understanding level. If you want to come at an application level, definitely conceptual knowledge should be needed for reaching application level. So the lower levels are embedded in the higher level. That is why learning happens in a continuum. You are in a roadmap from simple to complex. So go with the highest level. That is possible. There is no need to go. Once you have taken this post-graduation, we won't say that. I am a graduate and a postgraduate. You would say that graduation. We'll go with the highest level, which is there.
Which question paper can be considered ideal in terms of BL?
Question paper considered as ideal is that you give due representations for both higher order as well as lower order. That could be ideal. Suppose if you are just ignoring all the lower order and all the questions at the higher order, that is not good. If you're taking all the questions at eliminating all the questions from higher order and making the things very simple at a lower remembering level understanding, that also there should be fair representations from both the orders. That is LOT is lower order, this thinking skills and method. The other is higher order. So both is important.
How can I ensure that my questions accurately reflect the cognitive level intended by Bloom's taxonomy?
That is, you are the expert in your subject. So definitely you can, isn't it? Because you can identify the cognitive challenge that your subject brings in that learner. And on the basis of cognitive challenge, you will be able to identify it. Because you are the expert. There is no need for an external approval, right?
Is there any standards to set Bloom's level?
Any standards in the sense I didn't get the questions. Standards in the cell, I presume that whether there is any criteria to say that this much of questions from remembering level, this much of questions from, there is no such standards which has been prefixed. Suppose unless and otherwise, if this academic council or the board of studies bring some control over that, there is no prefixed standards on this much a percentage of questions is from should be from this level. No such things as such in general, but you can set the standards according to the these meetings of the academic council and board of studies most.
I don't see any more questions. Please note, everybody, tomorrow we will have the session on architecture of OBE and design of outcomes. It will be taken by Dr. Sunil Job itself.
Okay, so I think that we had a very good interactions between the members. I am very happy that they are very dynamic. They have posted a lot of questions as well as very interactive, and I have been putting some questions to them. So tomorrow also we can enjoy some most thought-provoking and good concepts regarding outcome-based education. And not only that, if you have still any doubts in the LMS also, there is forum, you can post it. We will be visiting these forums and we'll be commenting about your doubts there also. So, okay, for today, we can stop for today. I think it is 9:15.
Okay, one last question. One last question. How to incorporate computer technology in education?
I didn't get it. How to?
How to incorporate computer technology in education?
That is what you are going to learn in the subsequent, because we are going with some generative AI solutions that make the things very easy. So there are a lot of things to come, so you can enjoy it in the upcoming sections. They will be putting a lot of what you could say possibilities regarding these latest computer technologies, generative AIs, and how it will help to lessen your work and increase the productivity. So definitely you will be learning a lot for that with regard to that in the upcoming sections.
Okay. Let me just check if there are any questions on YouTube. I don't see anything posted. Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much. So I think we'll be meeting tomorrow also. We can have a lot of thoughts regarding the OB, and I assure that I will not make you to sit such a long. Now it's already 9:20, so we will conclude the tomorrow session a little earlier. That's a promise that I'm giving you. So let us stop for today. So enjoy the evening. Have a pleasant evening and good night. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow at same time, 7 p.m. We will end the session for today. Thank you, everybody.